Hi everyone, and today we're reviewing a relatively affordable electric fat bike, the M60 model from iScooter. It features a low-step frame designed for a comfortable and safe riding position, wide 26 by 4-inch fat tires built for off-road terrain, and a rear hub motor. If you're looking for a versatile bike that can confidently handle sand, gravel, and rough terrain without breaking the bank, then stick around for the full review. I even got lucky with the weather for this one, so hopefully you'll enjoy the footage as well. The bike arrives in a massive, well-packed box, although there are no technical specifications printed on the packaging itself. Well, let's open it up. The bike itself is extremely well protected for shipping. Thick styrofoam blocks, soft foam padding, and additional cushioning materials are placed throughout the box to keep everything secure during transport. To pack this bicycle, they used 18 zip ties and, as you can clearly see, a very generous amount of rigid styrofoam. So overall, I'd rate the packaging highly. As for accessories, the package includes a user manual with assembly instructions and operating tips, open-end wrenches, hex keys, a reversible screwdriver, a pump, 2 battery keys, and a 2A charger with an LED charging status indicator. I also requested a few optional accessories: a chain lock with a combination mechanism made from alloy steel, ABS plastic, and nylon fabric. It measures 120 centimeters in length and weighs 780 grams. A phone holder weighing 125 grams, with dimensions of 100 by 105 by 65 millimeters. And, probably the most important accessory for me, a protective cover for the bike, since I'll be storing it outdoors. It's made from 210D Oxford fabric with a silver coating for improved water and wind resistance. And now it's time to assemble the bike. If you've assembled a bicycle before, the process here is very straightforward. You simply install the handlebars, align the front wheel and brakes, attach the pedals, and that's basically it. Everything needed for daily commuting is already included in the box, including the rear rack and fenders. The only things I'd personally add would be a phone mount, a chain lock, and maybe a spare inner tube. Although most riders prefer choosing those accessories themselves anyway. One nice detail I noticed is that the chain doesn't come covered in thick shipping grease. Instead, it's lightly lubricated with a cleaner oil-based coating, which is definitely appreciated. And here is how the M60 looks immediately after assembly. At first glance, what really stands out is how clean and well integrated the design looks. The battery is hidden inside the down tube, the cable routing is tidy, and the step-through frame makes mounting the bike genuinely easy, even while carrying a backpack or groceries. The suspension fork is adjustable, the saddle uses a shock-absorbing design, and both the rear rack and fenders come pre-installed, so you don't have to spend extra money on essentials right away. Without a doubt, the bike looks far more expensive and substantial than its actual price would suggest. The steel frame feels extremely sturdy, and the overall construction inspires confidence. The bike weighs 34.5 kilograms, which certainly isn't light, although that's fairly normal for an electric fat bike. Thankfully, the manufacturer equipped it with 160mm mechanical disc brakes on both the front and rear wheels, complete with motor cutoff sensors. In practice, however, the brakes feel somewhat underpowered for a bike of this size and weight. They get the job done, but ideally, a fat bike like this should offer stronger one-finger braking performance. The stock setup is usable, though upgrading the brakes would make a noticeable difference. One of the bike's most prominent features is the massive down tube, which houses the integrated removable battery. Since the frame uses a low-step geometry without a traditional top tube, it's especially convenient for riders who struggle with taller frames. The bike uses a 48-volt, 13-ampere-hour battery that can be removed using the included keys. The battery itself weighs around 4.5 kilograms. Its nominal capacity is 624 watt-hours, while the usable capacity is rated at approximately 612 watt-hours. You can charge it either directly on the bike or separately indoors. A full charge takes around 6 to 7 hours from empty. Overnight charging solves the problem easily, although riders who prefer faster charging may wish for a more powerful charger. Naturally, range is one of the biggest questions with any e-bike. The manufacturer claims anywhere from 72 to 105 kilometers depending on riding conditions, terrain, rider weight, and assist level. In reality, those numbers are only achievable under ideal conditions. During my own mixed-use riding test, I covered roughly 40 kilometers while riding between 25 and 45 kilometers per hour, and the battery still remained above half charge, which is honestly impressive. On the other hand, if you ride aggressively with maximum throttle nearly all the time, realistic range will be closer to 50 to 60 kilometers. Up front, the bike uses a suspension fork with both lockout and adjustable damping. Despite being an unbranded unit, it performs surprisingly well over potholes and rough terrain. I measured around 100 millimeters of suspension travel, which is genuinely impressive for a fat bike in this price category. The bike also features a 220 lumen projector-style headlight powered directly by the main battery. It includes a built-in white reflector and does a solid job illuminating the road ahead, although side visibility could certainly be better. Moving on to the cockpit, the handlebars feature a mild ergonomic sweep, while the stem itself is fixed and non-adjustable. The controller includes an LCD display, along with a USB-A charging port for your phone. Visibility outdoors is excellent. Even under direct sunlight, the screen remains easy to read, and the backlight is stable with no visible flickering on camera. The system powers on with a long press of the M button. The display shows battery level, current speed, power output, and pedal assist level. There are 5 assist levels in total. In locked mode, assistance is limited to 25 km per hour, while unlocked mode allows speeds up to 45 km per hour. Interestingly, the assist levels mainly change motor output rather than cadence sensitivity, which is somewhat unusual for a cadence sensor system. Still, it works well and lets you choose how much effort you want to contribute yourself. The screen also displays speed, trip information, battery voltage, ride duration, and other riding data. A separate button controls the lights, while another activates the horn. The electronics are UL and IPX5 certified, confirming both electrical safety and resistance to water splashes. On the right side, you'll find a simple and reliable 7-speed Shimano shifter. Right next to it is the thumb throttle. The grips themselves are basic and non-locking, but they feature a comfortable palm support shape and provide surprisingly good grip. Now let's talk about the saddle. It's exceptionally soft and wide, making it comfortable for a very broad range of riders. The surface material feels pleasant to the touch, and additional suspension underneath helps absorb vibrations and small impacts. Seat height adjustment is handled through a quick-release clamp, and the frame geometry itself works well for riders of many different heights. Personally, at around 185 centimeters tall, I still had plenty of room and comfortable leg extension. Another feature I really liked is the rear rack. It's sturdy enough for bags, baskets, or additional cargo, and according to the manufacturer, the bike supports loads up to 150 kilograms. That said, the absence of rear suspension is still noticeable. Yes, the saddle itself is soft and spring-loaded, but a proper rear shock absorber would have improved comfort even further. Mounted underneath the rear rack is a battery-powered taillight with a built-in reflector. It's surprisingly bright, ensuring you remain clearly visible from behind. Overall, the lighting system is actually quite good. Even if you unexpectedly end up riding through dark forest trails, visibility remains decent enough to continue riding confidently. The bike also comes with large plastic fenders. Despite being plastic, they're long and wide enough to provide genuinely good protection against water and dirt. Earlier I mentioned the wheel size, 26 by 4 inches. Even by fat bike standards, these tires are huge. Most fat bikes use 3-inch tires, while these are a full 4 inches wide. Combined with the suspension fork, they do an excellent job smoothing out rough roads and uneven terrain. The tread pattern is aggressive enough for off-road riding while still remaining reasonably quiet on asphalt, which makes the M60 equally suitable for urban commuting and recreational trail riding. The geared hub motor is integrated into the rear wheel and is officially rated at just 250 watts, although the American version comes equipped with a full 750-watt motor. Due to European Union regulations, the power output here is electronically limited. Fortunately, torque remains unchanged at an impressive 86 Newton meters, well above average for this class of bike. And honestly, just look at the size of this motor. It's essentially a software-limited 750-watt unit, so there is absolutely no shortage of torque. Acceleration feels strong and satisfying, while steep hills are handled with impressive confidence. The crankset itself looks fairly budget-oriented, but the chain is protected on both sides. That means your pants are less likely to get caught, while the chain itself is also less likely to derail. The cassette is unbranded, although shifting duties are handled by a Shimano Tourney derailleur, complete with a protective guard. If you accidentally hit something, there's less chance of damaging the derailleur itself. The Shimano Tourney setup performs perfectly fine for everyday riding and urban commuting. No, it's not a high-end mountain bike drivetrain, but replacement parts are inexpensive and widely available. The kickstand is sturdy and height adjustable, allowing the bike to stand securely even on uneven surfaces. The pedals are plastic, which is fairly common nowadays. They offer decent grip and include built-in reflectors, although metal pedals would definitely have suited the off-road character of the bike better. As for maintenance, fat tire commuter bikes are generally very easy to live with if you keep up with basic servicing. Tire pressure makes the biggest difference to ride comfort. Around 18 to 22 pounds per square inch is a good starting point for mixed urban riding. The chain should be lubricated roughly every 100 to 150 miles in wet weather, or every 200 to 300 miles in dry conditions. It's also worth retightening bolts and checking spoke tension after the first 50 miles once everything settles in. And because fat bikes are heavy, brake pads should be inspected regularly for wear. And most importantly, how does it actually ride? The M60 delivers a genuinely excellent riding experience. Despite the absence of rear suspension, the combination of massive 4-inch tires, the adjustable suspension fork, and the shock-absorbing saddle smooths out rough pavement and uneven terrain remarkably well. The bike feels stable and planted at any speed, with no noticeable vibrations, strange creaks, or wobbling. Just that reassuring nothing phases it, feeling that makes long rides far less tiring. Power delivery feels smooth, yet confident. The motor engages naturally from a stop, and acceleration up to cruising speed feels effortless. Hills are handled especially well. The motor provides a noticeable boost under load, so the bike rarely feels strained even on steeper inclines or into strong headwinds. And with a top speed of up to 45 km per hour, the M60 has no trouble keeping pace with faster city traffic or maintaining speed on open bike paths. Handling is predictable and confidence-inspiring. Fat tire bikes sometimes feel vague in corners, but the M60 stays composed thanks to its low center of gravity and integrated battery placement. It feels secure over potholes, gravel, and rough pavement, although its size and weight clearly prioritize comfort and stability over aggressive, sporty riding. And thanks to the large battery, long-distance riding feels effortless. In mixed urban riding conditions using pass levels 2 to 3, with stop-and-go traffic and occasional hills, you can realistically expect around 40 to 70 kilometers of range before needing to recharge. Lower assist settings on flat terrain can stretch that figure even further, while heavy throttle use will naturally reduce it. The battery indicator is easy to read at a glance, and the built-in USB-A charging port means your phone can stay powered during navigation or longer rides. To sum it up, the M60 successfully delivers what a modern do-it-all e-bike should be. It's fast enough for city riding, stable enough for dirt and gravel trails, and comfortable enough to make even longer commutes feel short. For commuters, casual explorers, and anyone wanting an affordable fat tire e-bike that's genuinely enjoyable to ride, the M60 is an easy recommendation. And that's all from me. You can buy it using the link in the description. Thank you all for watching. Good luck to everyone. Bye everyone. Ciao.